Dana of DeFreitas Horsemanship here. I'm so excited that you're able to join me today. I appreciate the time that you're taking to watch this video, and I want to start by taking a moment to applaud you for your commitment to becoming a better partner for your horse. This is the first in a series of videos that I'm creating to help you understand the philosophy behind my methods. I promise to make the most of your time by keeping things interesting and informative. Today, I'd like to talk about horsemanship. Horsemanship is a term that gets thrown around a lot in the equine world, but it means different things to different people. Every big-name clinician out there has their own take on the answer, their own theory. And even though I'm not a big-name clinician, I guess I'm no different. In short, horsemanship is the culmination of theories and methods that a person uses to establish their desired relationship with a horse. However, one of the biggest blessings and curses in the equine industry is that there are over 7 million people involved with horses in some way or another in the United States alone. And because each and every one of us is unique, that means that there are at least 7 million different ways to do everything with a horse. From how we ask them to pick up their feet, to how we ask them to pick up a canter or a lope. Each and every one of us is going to ask them to do those things slightly, if not completely differently. The blessing in this is that each and every one of us has the ability and freedom to find the methods that work and feel good to us. But the curse is that there is no one right way, so you have to figure out what's right for you. Trying several different methods to find the one that resonates with you can create a lot of confusion between us and our beloved horses. And if you bored, then I'm sure you know that the use of different methods can create an awful lot of contention between the people who love horses. Now, there are some foundational concepts like pressure and release that are utilized in the majority of methods. But there are so many ways to implement these types of concepts that it can make your head spin. Let's use pressure and release as an example. Some methods start training a desired response with light pressure and build that pressure gradually until the horse performs said desired response. Other methods start training a desired response with hard pressure and get lighter over time as the horse becomes more proficient at executing that desired response. Now, horses are absolutely brilliant and completely capable of learning whatever we want to teach them using whatever method we choose to try. But using a consistent method will help you reach your goals faster. Finding the trainer that utilizes methods that resonate with you can make all the difference in your equestrian experience. If you are considering working with a trainer, which each and every one of us should, I encourage you to learn all that you can about that trainer's methods and their underlying philosophy before you start working with them. After all, this person and their methods are going to have a huge impact on your relationship with your horse. And it's important that you do your due diligence to ensure to the best of your ability that the impact that trainer will have is going to be a good one. If you are watching this, then I assume that you are curious about my methods and theories, and lucky for you, I'm more than happy to share. Let me start by answering the critical question of the day. What is horsemanship to me? As I said previously, horsemanship is the culmination of theories and methods that a person uses to establish their desired relationship with a horse. More holistically, horsemanship is a personal journey to build and maintain the relationship you want with a horse. As each and every one of us is an individual, and all of our goals are unique and constantly evolving, those journeys are going to look different for each of us. Even if we all wanted the same type of relationship with a horse. Once you add in all the different relationship possibilities that exist in our industry, all the different methods that exist to create said relationships, and consider that we are each coming to this journey with different life experiences, I guarantee you that there are no two identical journeys. Before you ask, yes, there are different types of relationships that you can have with your horse. Countless different types, in fact. I like to put the types of relationships you could have with your horse on a spectrum. On one end of the spectrum is a human-focused relationship, where the relationship is based solely on the needs, wants, thoughts, and feelings of the human, with no consideration to the horse. On the other end of the spectrum is a horse-focused relationship, where, you guessed it, the relationship is based solely on the needs, wants, thoughts, and feelings of the horse, with no consideration to the human. So, where am I and my methods on this spectrum? What type of relationship do I want with my horse? You'll find me right smack dab in the middle of this, turning this spectrum into a scale, balancing my needs, wants, thoughts, and feelings with the needs, wants, thoughts, and feelings of my horse. I call this type of relationship a partnership. Partners share a multitude of experiences together. Each has their own preferences, thoughts, feelings, hopes, goals, fears, and each has a voice of their own. Partners care for one another's well-being and will make compromises and sacrifices for one another. Partners share responsibility for their relationship. Sometimes, even the best of partners have disagreements, but when push comes to shove, partners have each other's backs and will do whatever it takes to maintain their relationship. Partners respect each other. I want my horse to be my partner, and I have developed my methods to create the strongest partnerships I can. Horsemanship to me is therefore a balance between my desires and my horse's, balance between control and freedom, balance between teaching and learning, balance between talking and listening, between tradition and evolution, balance between mastering tasks and trying new challenges, balance between fast and slow, hard and soft, loud and quiet. Horsemanship is also sacrifice, negotiation, and cooperation. Horsemanship is trust and forgiveness. Horsemanship is equity and respect. Horsemanship is how I strive to live my life, in balance with those I love. I know what you're thinking. That's nice, Dana. That description of horsemanship is very idyllic. What does that actually mean when you work with your clients and their horses? How do you find all this balance and still get a horse to do what you want, when you want, all while making sure no one gets hurt? And that, my fellow equestrians, is the real question. How do I get a horse to do what I want, when I want, consistently, safely, and willingly, all while respecting their thoughts and feelings and creating a strong partnership? As you can probably already tell, I strive for balance in all things. I am a Libra, after all, so it should come as no surprise that I also try to find balance between the vast range of methods out there. If training techniques were placed on a spectrum that ranged from traditional to new age, I would land off-center and slightly more towards the new age side of the spectrum. I use a lot of these things, by the way, spectrums that is. But back to my methods. I use a balance of pressure and release training, also known as negative reinforcement, in conjunction with reward-based training, which is positive reinforcement. Don't worry if you don't know what these terms mean yet. We will go into them in much more detail in a later video. I do not use fear-based or pain-based methods. I listen to my horses and take their abilities and well-being into account as I make plans for their future. I take the time that each needs to fully understand what I am trying to ask of them, honor and hold space for them to have their feelings, and I respect their opinions. I also never forget that horses are much, much bigger than me, and they can hurt me without even knowing it. So I do set consistent boundaries with them to ensure that they know how to behave safely around me. If you ask my horse Angel, I have some pretty demanding expectations too. You know, things like trot when I say trot and stop when I ask for a stop. Give me a kiss in exchange for a cookie and take that cookie without taking off my fingers. Brutal, aren't they? Anyway, I also expect that my horses will occasionally be afraid of things, like killer butterflies. Rightfully so. Have you guys ever seen those? They're deadly. I expect my horses to have thoughts and feelings about what we do together. And I expect them to trust me enough to do what I tell them to do in a crisis because it might just save both of our lives. From this balanced perspective is where my methods originate. Those methods are, in short, to influence the 4 pillars of horsemanship to craft a partnership between horse and rider. If you want a partnership with your horse, then join me for our next video, when I will do a deep dive into these 4 pillars of horsemanship. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.